Well, hi everybody. It's been a little while since I put something on socials and I've had a load of messages asking me why, so I thought I better explain myself. On the 25th of January, it was a Saturday night, I became very unwell at home here in Vienna. My intestines stopped functioning in a condition called paralytic ileus. It's not uncommon for people like me who have had multiple cancers and Crohn's disease and lots of surgeries on the intestine that sometimes it happens. But I wasn't too worried. The wonderful ambulance service brought me to Vienna's General Hospital, and it became clear that I needed an operation very swiftly to fix this paralysis of my intestine. That was done, and I got better very quickly after the operation. But on the 6th day after the operation, just before I was about to leave hospital, disaster struck. My intestine perforated, the abdominal wound in my belly opened, and I lost an enormous amount of blood, as well as the contents of my intestine spilled into my intestinal cavity and all out over the floor as well. I had to go back, obviously, for an emergency operation to try and put my intestine back together again. And that was a very difficult and long operation performed like the one the week before by the wonderful Professor Anton Stift at AKH Wien. I was critically ill after this and spent a couple of times in intensive care as well. And on one day in particular, I was so gravely unwell that I was told that I may not survive, and to say my goodbyes to my wife, to my parents over the phone, and that was a pretty tough day out. I've been really sick before. I've had cardiac arrest, brain hemorrhages, cancers multiple times, but actually this was the worst I've ever been, and I guess it was most surprising because there was no surgical solution to how unwell I was, which was a bit of a shock to me, if I'm honest. But over the next period of weeks, I got slowly better. I wasn't able to eat because I had multiple holes in my intestine and I had 5 tubes coming out of my belly in addition to my stoma that I still have. And we'd planned for, if I was lucky enough to survive, that I would never be able to eat again. I was on total parenteral nutrition, a big bag of fluids, fats, proteins that went into a port in my chest that I still have directly into my heart. But again, over days and weeks, my intestine healed itself. And I was able, a couple of weeks ago, to withdraw from nutritional feeding through my veins, back to eating normally, back to work a couple of weeks ago, back to exercising. I can't begin to describe how lucky I am to have survived near death once again. And I am incredibly grateful for the care that I had from all the doctors, nurses, technicians, healthcare assistants at AKH Wien, and to the Rettungsdienst, the ambulance service as well, who saved my life twice. So back to work, back to reality, back to really getting my feet under the desk again and understanding what has been going on since I've been away. I'm now taking immunosuppressive drugs to try and reduce the Crohn's disease that I have, the inflammatory bowel disease. That's what caused my intestine to perforate after the operation. So all of these things, they leave some impacts. They make me feel a bit unwell. They make me feel pretty tired at times. But that's nothing compared to where I ought to be. I am still genuinely surprised to be waking up every day, to have the opportunity to come back and try again. So that's why I was away. And as I get back into work and seeing where we are, I am so grateful to my wonderful teams around the world for doing what they do, helping me to get back to work and understand where I can add the best value. And also to my incredible wife and parents who coped with the knowledge of things going very wrong and potentially going into a very dark place indeed. How lucky am I? Really, how lucky am I? So that's why I've been absent for a while. Now I'm back. I'll slowly get back into things. If you have questions that you'd like to know about what it's like living with inflammatory bowel disease like Crohn's disease, or cancers, or coping with so many surgeries, this was my 9th laparotomy, my 15th abdominal operation, drop them in the comments and I'll be happy to take them on board and answer them. Ask anything you want. There's nothing that can embarrass me or makes me uncomfortable. It could be about having an ileostomy, it can be about life in general. I've heard from so many of you that the social media work that I've done has helped you understand your own bodies and has helped some of you find cancers before they got too far. And that's just a remarkable privilege to be able to do that. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for all the messages of support. I really appreciate it more than you could ever possibly realize. Take care. See you soon.